Okay, so just wanted to start out by thanking InfoSol. They've been a really good partner for us here at Ports America with, helping with projects like the one I'm going to present. In particular, Renali's been a huge asset for us, along with a coworker of mine, Hugh Van, which we call him HP for short. So I just wanted to thank these guys for all their efforts on making this report a reality. Who is Ports America? Ports America is the largest U.S. terminal operator and stevedore with operations in every major port in the nation. With more than 100 years of experience through predecessor companies, Ports America processes dedicated resources that only company of a scale such as Ports America and scope could deliver, including skilled personnel, robust training programs, best-in-class technology, and experience management. We are currently running SAP BO BI Platform 4.2, Support Pack 8, Patch 5, version 4.2. That's a mouthful. One of my many roles as a systems analyst here at Ports America is to manage multiple aspects of the SAP BusinessObjects, using the information design tool, the universe design tool, and CMC, including in that maintaining users and groups, connections, folders, promotion management, using the BI admin console, and of course, report development and report conversions. So I was tasked with building a new Webi report to match an existing SSRS report because our users in our financial arena do not have access to an application that was built in-house or its reports. However, these users in our finance department use Webi reports extensively. So giving the finance users access to data from other applications is critical. When faced with the challenge of creating a new Webi intelligence report, based on an existing SSRS report, there are no magic utilities available, but we came up with a method that I think worked well for us. Some of the challenges we faced, the report backend, the universe that was needed to develop this Webi report was out of date. It was designed and built over 12 years ago. So over time, as business processes changed and data fields changed and relationships changed, the universe remained static. So it became clear after researching the universe model against some of the requirements of the new Webi report that the current universe would not work. And that was primarily due to its join structure. So we'd run a query against that universe and we would either get missing information or duplicate information. So myself, I'm fairly new to SAP, to BO, having only worked in this arena for less than a year now, but I do have plenty of experience working with databases in general, mostly on the SQL side. That includes normalization, building relationships, lookups, fact tables, star schema, things like that. So it was easier for me to understand the current universe structure, but it was still difficult to know the original intent of the universe, as I and many of my coworkers were not around when the universe was originally planned and designed. So some of the other challenges was because the universe is used as the backend for other reports, changing the universe to meet the requirements of a new Webi report was not feasible. If we change something in the old universe, that could affect some reports that currently use it. And the new Webi report had to match the older SSRS report in data content, filtering, and visibility. What was the solution? Well, the first thing I had to do was obtain access to the SSRS report using Report Builder. From there, I was able to decipher the fields that were being used in the report, the formulas that were being used, and also the layout and design. I was also able to acquire the SSRS report backend queries from the developer, HP. This included data selections, the joins, and aggregation. So because I'm new to Oracle, and this is an Oracle, this particular application is an Oracle backend, I had to familiarize myself with SQL Developer. So learn that is something new, as well as I had to learn. So I had to recreate this query in SQL Developer to verify the report data using that particular tool. And then quickly I have SQL Developer opened. You can see parts of the query here that was used. I'm able to take this, run this query, compare it against the data that I'm getting in the BO report. And if things didn't match the way they should, or back to this result set from SQL Developer, then we knew that either there was a problem with our joins in the universe, or I was missing something from the initial query. So with that information, armed with that information, I was able to create a new universe based on that information given. The old universe contained about 40 tables and 34 joins. It's not overwhelmingly large, but not knowing the original intent and design of the universe was a challenge when trying to manipulate joins to fit the needs of the current report. You can also see here the old universe, when you run an integrity check, it resulted in numerous divergences in cardinality, some of those being missing or unknown cardinality, or invalid cardinality as well. So the new universe, much smaller, kind of streamlined to fit the requirements for the new Webi report, only contained 21 tables and 19 joins. And the plan here is in the future to be able to build upon this universe. So as new reports are requested from the finance team, we can adjust the universe accordingly. Also running an integrity check, you can see that the check is much cleaner. There's little or a lot fewer cardinality divergences here. So overall, the new universe is a lot cleaner. So some of the challenges on the SSRS side, SSRS reports can have multiple columns with custom formulas that need to be recreated in Webi. And what you're seeing here in this example is the sum of gross hours multiplied by the results of an if statement. On top of that, subtracted by the sum of total hours times the results of another if statement condition. So one of the solutions was in BO, or in Webi, was to create multiple variables. And I was able to use these variables to generate multiple variables that I could combine to get the same results from each column, for each column in the Webi report. And if I briefly go to my Webi report, you can see here, we have multiple vertical tables here. I find it very helpful to name the tables so that you know which one you're applying the changes to. But also, if I switch to the available objects, you can see I have plenty of variables here. So I have one variable that breaks down 1/2 of this expression here, and another variable that breaks down the other half. Combining the two allowed me to get the correct results. So you see here, gross hours was 128. Gross hours right here in the actual SSRS report, 128. So I was able to view the reports, the output of reports, able to generate these variables, and also able to get the information I need using Report Builder to generate the formulas and expressions that I needed here. So as you can see here, again, I combined some variables to get the expected results. Another challenge was that the SSRS reports have multiple rows with custom expressions that show or hide report data. And so just a quick example, if I go to the SSRS report and row visibility, you can see it's not just showing it, it's based on an expression. And that expression is here. So to replicate that in Webi, what I had to do was, and let me find the right one. Okay, so what I had to do was I had to hide and format the table in Webi, much like they did in SSRS. So if I go to format table, you can see I'm hiding based on a formula, just like they did in an SSRS report. Also, make sure I'm not skipping anything. Also, the format, the tables in Webi, we were able to hide them, just like I was showing you earlier. So this is a screenshot of that again. I'm able to hide and show data based on the same conditions or formulas that was in the SSRS report. So also, the SSRS report has multiple columns with custom expressions that you can show and hide report data. So again, as an example, I select a column here, and you select column visibility. It's based on an expression. And again, here we have capture births values not equal to 1. I'm able to replicate that in BO by putting formulas directly on the cells. So if capture birth doesn't equal to 1, then don't show it, else give me what the birth name is. Also, you can, in SSRS, you can format or filter columns to hide data. This is the next screen. So you can set up filters on tablets. Tablets are like similar to vertical tables in Webi. So you can, in SSRS, we had reports. The report had column filtering that was used that used custom expressions to show how you show and hide report data. So again, as an example, if I go to this tablets and go to its properties, and you can see we have filtering on that particular tablet. So in this case, event type category ID is equal to an expression is just convert decimal, which basically is 1. So it's event type ID has to be equal to 1. So to replicate that in BO, I was able to add a filter to the vertical table, much like the one in SSRS. And here I am showing that same filtering in the BO report. Also, in SSRS, reports had parameters where you can specify and label the parameter values. So you can see here, you can assign a label and also assign it a value. So to replicate that in BO on Webi, I was able to use the input controls to create an input control and then set it up as custom and then put my own values in. So that replicates or has the same functionality as the SSRS report. Also, one of the more challenging aspects of this report was that the report needed to calculate data at a header level, but show results at a detail level. Subtracting the sum of detail rows from a header row without summing up the header value multiple times, then multiply that by the number of detail rows precisely. So what I learned about and wasn't familiar with until InfoSol got involved was custom calculation context. And basically in this screenshot, you can see we have a header with multiple detail values. We want to sum up, we want to take just the header value of 9, subtract it from our net hours to get a value here. And you can see the formula that's used is that in function here. So if you do not use that, you get different results. So the report on the left is used correctly, and the report on the right is not. You can see if we sum up the gross hours here, we get 36 subtracted from 1, giving us 35, which is not correct. So using that custom calculation context was critical to getting this report to work properly. Also, during the development of the Webi report, and because I had to base it on the SSRS report, I'm looking at that SSRS report with a fine-tooth comb, validating every row, every column, every table, looking to make sure that I get exactly right. So during this process of reviewing each aspect, I was able to discover a few bugs in the SSRS report that was later confirmed and fixed or updated. And this is just an excerpt from the conversation we had in Teams of one of my coworkers, HP. You could see here, I'm running a query in SQL Developer. My results are showing 4 records returned with a total of 12. And when I look at his report, he does have a total of 12, but it's only returning 3 records. And so HP confirmed that the SSR report was running wrong, had a bug in it, was not working properly, and it was fixed. And you can see here, it should be like this. And that is all I have. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions?
Hey, Dirk, that was awesome. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. I was quite fascinated by this because I can see lots of applications here. It's not that everybody wants to convert an SSRS report to Webi every day. But some of the techniques that you use there, people, probably would use some of those on a very regular basis. It also occurred to me that this could be used for converting crystal reports as well, because there's a lot of similarities there between SSRS and crystal with the embedded SQL and so forth. So this was cool. This was very, very cool. And, all in all, I mean, was it was it a multi-week, multi-month job? I mean, how long did it take you to do this?
Oh, it was a couple of months for sure. Just having to start from scratch with the universe, didn't even thinking I was having to build a new universe, just thinking I could convert the old one or manipulate the old one to fit the needs of this report. That took some time to figure that out. And then once, I got a hold of those queries that I could use, I just told myself I can create this new universe based on this information. And that's what we did. And again, moving forward, we want to use this new universe for any future reports that our finance team may have. So it took some time. I would say that.
Yeah.
Dealing with the universe first, and then the certain aspects of the report. And that's where InfoSol is a great resource and a great help trying to get this to work properly.
Yeah, I can imagine it would have taken time to become familiar and so forth. I bet you if you had to do a second one, you'd probably do it a little bit faster.
Absolutely. And the more familiar I get with VO and Webi reports in particular, the more efficient I think I'll become, just having experienced this. So it was frustrating at times, but overall it was a great experience moving forward.
That's great. Well, again, thank you so much, Dirk, for sharing that with us. That was great. We don't have any questions, but we have a lot of positive comments coming in the chat saying great presentation and thanks for sharing your experience and so forth. So thanks again, Dirk. Really, really appreciate it. Over to you, Lucy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for your presentation. All right, so moving forward with this event, we have the raffle. Yes, it's raffle time right now. So let me bring up the names. Are we all ready? Well,
It's already going. It's already going.
Yeah,
not waiting for you.
You guys can see my my screen, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody saw the winner?
Rick Petrogallo.
Rick Petrogallo. Yay! Woo!
Awesome.
Congratulations. Yay, I will be reaching out to you here shortly as soon as the meeting ends. Paul, well, other than this, we only want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for attending this AC Bucket event. Do you have anything else to add?
I just want to say thanks, and it was great to see 2 customers presenting at this event. This quarter. That's great. We want to see more of you. So you saw how great it was, with Amanda and Dirk sharing their real world experiences. So please, let us know if you'd like to do the same. And thanks again to everyone for attending.